Well, here we are. Another week of indoor and arena football has come. It is gone. Well, I got to tell you, everybody, did you expect Michael Waltrip to join Nashville's ownership group? I mean, the ownership is looking really, really strong. Even more strong than it already is. You know, Nashville hosted a playoff game in Clarksville and won that game against Southwest Kansas. So, 48-43. Really good game. Really good game that, went down to the end. It was a battle. Tyler Colca, Jalen Morton. I mean, man, what a game it was. But ultimately, Nashville made the plays at the end to secure themselves a trip to the AF1 crown, which is what the AF1 is going to call their championship. And their opponent, obviously, it will be the undefeated Albany Firebirds. I mean, what did you expect? It was a blowout yet again, another 30-point win for the Firebirds. They had guys suspended, but it ultimately didn't matter. Dwayne Autry, has retired, quote unquote. We'll see if he, sticks to it or not, but it's up to him if he wants to keep going for next season. If not, and he has a happy retirement, I hope he has a happy retirement. He's made some great plays and been a great, man over the years. Never had a chance to speak to the guy, but he's always been on it, on social media and stuff like that. He's just been a great player on and off the field. A couple things else, unfortunately, there was a very unfortunate injury in the Tulsa Oilers game this past weekend against Massachusetts, which Massachusetts won. And unfortunately, TJ Edwards got rolled up on by one of his own linemen. He is done for the year. And so Kobe Gatson will now have to step in for Tulsa and, see if they can keep, something going. Tulsa has to keep the momentum up because Massachusetts is gaining on them, especially with that win now, that blowout win, 58-37. The New Jersey Roughnecks, who lost in the AAL2 Eastern Division semifinals, has rebranded to the South Jersey Wave for the WIF, which makes way more sense. The South Jersey Wave sounds even cooler than the New Jersey Roughnecks. I'm just going to be rude with you. And then a team out in Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, has surfaced. I believe, it's kind of talking about that this is going to be an AL team, probably, I don't know. We'll see. And then, of course, this past week, the Omaha Beef basically got Centelled, which is crazy. The guys who run Arena Football Centel are great. I don't think anybody got the joke. So that kind of got me weirded out, because I'm like, do they not understand the joke? I don't think Ricky understood the joke. But, Ricky Burtz is, of course, having him and the Beef and the rest of the NAL are trying to build for 2026, which I hope it goes well. I really do. Despite, what kind of year this has been for the NAL, it's been a weird year, where they've actually been, pretty solid in some cases, like Beaumont being the way they are, Wheeling still, having, great broadcasts and everything like that. Columbus, still being a contender, despite the fact that they could not, get to the championship, and Omaha coming back, trying to go for 4 or 5 and ultimately not getting to 4 for 5. They didn't get 4 championships in 5 seasons. Beaumont got the first championship. That might be something, for them to do, get another team out in Colorado, which is going to be intriguing. I don't really think, do you even know anything about Pueblo, Colorado? No, I do not. But hey, I'm not the one, doing expansion and stuff like that. And again, like I said, I think personally we're not going to have too many new teams next year. We're just not going to have too many new teams, And I'm talking like new, not like returning teams. I'm talking new teams. So this could be one of the new teams. I'm guesstimating there will be 5 new teams across all leagues next year. Over under. Yes, I'm doing a little bit of betting today. Over under 5 teams next year that are new. Not a Sioux Falls Storm, not a Frisco Fighters, not a Duke City rebrand, not a West Texas. No, we're talking brand spanking new. So, and the other AL2 Eastern Division semifinal, Jersey beat the brakes off of Maryland. Let me just say real quick, why in the world are we dragging this out? I'm just gonna be rude with you guys. AL2, my friends, my boys. Hey, why are we dragging this out? We should not be dragging playoffs out for a month. The entire league should not have been in the playoffs. There is no way I would have a Pittsburgh Outlaws playing for a championship. I would not have the Pittsburgh Outlaws playing for a championship. I would not have a Maryland Eagles playing for a championship. I would have did the top 5, instead of the whole league, but whatever, That's not up to me. That's not up to me, So, well, let's talk the AF1 crown real quick. It'll be Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. It'll be at 12 p.m. Central Time on Vice TV. It'll be a great game up in Albany. It's going to be fun. I will not be there for that game, though. I will not be. And, of course, as you all know, I work with I9 Sports now. So I am not going to be, anywhere near, any games. So I'll be look at some highlights and stuff like that, after the game, and it'll be way after. So I'll be out, I'll probably watch like the start, and then, I'm going to be like, oh, I got work to do. I got basketball and football and soccer and t-ball games to ref and coach. So, yeah. So Gurney Sloan with the play of the week. My God, the Hail Mary catch, in which there were like 3 lead changes in the last minute or two. Green Bay loses to Fishers on a crazy, crazy play. Jacksonville, Tucson, Vegas, all blowout teams, well, they blow out the competition. Arizona loses yet again. San Diego wins again. And then the TAL, Duluth, wins. Ozarks wins. And then St. Joe's almost had the play, the play that could have beat Iowa, but instead that did not happen. Antonio Wimbush was just dominating the Iowa Barnstormers like it was nobody's business. It was just crazy. 7 touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about here? This Iowa team is bad. There are bad teams in the IFL. Like, this is really, really rough. The IFL standings do kind of, reflect that, Iowa and San Antonio are just going to be at the basement. It's just, it's really, really bad. And maybe, NAS too. Northern Arizona is terrible. Like, this is, like, those 3 teams are downright awful. Downright awful. Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? So, in any case, the crazy plays that happened this week, were crazy. I did not expect, some things to be the way that they are, but they are. Like, Arizona's lost 4 straight games. Jacksonville is surging at the right time, Like, we're 5 weeks away from the IFL playoffs. We're 5 weeks away, which is crazy to think about. We are only 5 weeks away, and yet it still feels like there are a lot of things left to be decided. And the NAL's done. The AF1 is about to have their championship this week, and it's just going to be TAL and IFL on this channel for the next 5-6 weeks, for the most part. Well, the AL2 playoffs, being extended all the way until July the 11th is, kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, this week was definitely an intriguing week. A week where Pat McAfee mentions the IFL again. So what are we to do? We wait. We wait for more expansion, which is going to, again, what the NAL is going to do. We all know it's pretty much well known that West Texas will be in the NAL. Let's just keep that 180%. It's like not even a bad thing. It's just we already know this is going to happen because based off of past interactions and based off of past business dealings, things are going to teeter that way. And I definitely want to get guys like Ricky Fritz on the channel at some point to kind of pick at his mind a little bit because other people can pick at his mind. Other people have been able to get into the inside of him, but I am the only one that hasn't done that yet. So let me have a turn, guys. Everybody else had a piece of the pie, but me. But that's all right. Yeah. So Pueblo, Colorado, is that another NAL expansion? We will find out. In the future, they had a little press. Like I said, they had a little press release that kind of hinted they were an NAL team. It kind of fits, because I don't think the IFL would take up Pueblo, Colorado. So is there even like a Pueblo, Colorado like team? Like for like other sports? I don't know. I don't know anything about Pueblo, Colorado, guys. I'm sorry. That'll do it for me. I'm gonna get on up out of here, and I'll see you tomorrow. We got more to talk about.